All right, welcome back to the channel. We are playing decks we rotisserie drafted from my Bun Magic Cube tonight. Anthony has a bug mid-range deck. I'm on a sort of blue-white control deck. And rotisserie drafting, for those that don't know, is a very long and tedious draft format where you get everybody in the same room, lay all the cards face up on the table, and everybody just takes turns picking whichever card they want for their deck. So it took us a little over 2 hours to draft all of these cards, but it's fun. The whole time you get to talk trash with your friends and make fun of people and, contribute your thoughts on different card evaluations and picks. And at the end of it, you end up with pretty powerful decks because you obviously had the choice of the perfect card at every single moment of the draft.
Yeah, you have the choice of the perfect card, but also I feel like you know what everybody else is doing, so it's not like you're trying to read signals and you end up with like two people in the same archetype, usually.
Well, I mean, some archetypes can fit multiple people.
Yeah.
There's only so many archetypes to go around. Anyway, so I first picked Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath in my deck. You can go to the top-down view on my side of the screen here, Theo. Theo's off screen doing production. Thank you, Theo. And first picked Uro. I think Uro's a big power outlier in my cube, and it's a power outlier I really enjoy playing with. I think Uro is fun. I know this is a hot take for some people, but I think it's a pretty fun card. Maybe I'll explain why later. I really wanted to play Uro in the blue-white control deck that it was played in a lot in Legacy back when it was legal, and not
It's
just
still legal.
It is still legal.
Yep.
Back when it was good.
I mean, it's still pretty good, but yeah.
Clearly, my knowledge of Legacy is passing at best. Anyway, I wanted to play in a control deck where it was the main win condition and the rest of the cards exist to control my opponent's game plan and just use Uro as a very recursive win condition that will just get there in the late game. And that's what I ended up drafting. I got Uro early and then took a couple blue cards because Theo moved in hard on blue and I wanted to have some cantrips. Overall, I give this deck like a 6 out of 10 for a rotisserie draft deck. I didn't get the fixing I wanted. I would love to have one more Hallowed Fountain, and I would love to have a couple more fetch lands. And I would also love to have, if I could trade like 2 of these counter spells for 2 more cantrips, I would be pretty happy. But as is, the deck's all right. I like the way it plays. And yeah, my game plan is basically to stop whatever Anthony's doing and then eventually kill him with Uro or Timeless Dragon or the Wandering Emperor. What are you up to, Anthony? Oh, yep.
So I'm drafting a mostly green deck, splashing a little bit of blue and black. My goal is just to try and ramp very early and stick a difficult to interact with threat like Ashiok or Primordial Mist, and then I have some other pretty good just sort of like mid-rangey threats in here, and also Skull Clamp. So, if things go wrong, I can just eat all my elves for a bunch of cards. I think that's pretty much my plan.
So Uro's just banned in Modern then?
Yeah, it's banned in Modern. Yeah, James, I'm not sure why I told Andy to add Supreme Verdict to the cube because it's going to be really good against me. Yeah.
It's going to be really good against me as well.
Yeah, good against Anthony.
Don't think I have a great chance in this matchup.
Though against you, it's not any better than Wrath of God.
Well, the counter part doesn't matter.
Against Theo, the fact that it's Supreme Verdict and not Wrath of God or Damn or whatever is going to be very relevant.
Hell yeah. Come on, Team Anthony. We're gonna get there. Maybe after sideboarding.
All right, evens or odds? I'm in the seat, so we're not doing this high roll nonsense.
All right, evens. I'll switch back to top.
You did it.
Great. I will take the play.
Donald's rooting for Hardcast Shark Typhoon, Andy.
I did it a couple times already in the 5 matches I've played with this deck so far. It is a win condition eventually, and sometimes you top deck it and you have 6-7 lands, and you're like, sure, this is fine. I actually don't have a counterspell to hold up, so Shark Typhoon it is.
Yeah. The thing is, usually you're just supposed to cycle it for 5. And
I think usually you are, but depending on the matchup, like I was playing against, who was it that I did it against? I think I did it against Daniel.
I remember watching this. I think it was James.
I definitely didn't do it against James. I was dead way before I got to James. Just absolutely embarrassed my deck.
That makes sense.
It was not a thing. Who else would we play against? Daniel. I did it against Patrick. Is what I did. Patrick had a very late game value oriented deck and did not have, to my knowledge, any removal for enchantments in the main deck. So he was not putting any pressure on me. He was basically taking up Ren and 6, getting card advantage, and trying to win the game that way. So yeah, I hardcast Shark Typhoon there and was like, all right, we'll play the Shark Typhoon versus the Ren and 6 emblem game. And luckily, a well-placed Vendilion click to bottom his just drawn Fiery Confluence he would have been able to continually retrace, managed to get there.
Yeah, we played the previous matches in person, so we've all played the other 5 matches before this. Yeah.
I guess you're up first, Anthony. So
I'm up first, and I'm going to keep this hand. I feel okay about it. We got some stuff to do.
I'm also going to keep my hand. I think it's fine. At your leisure, Anthony.
All right.
Take it away.
Let's start things off with. How do I want to start things off? What a question.
Oh no, choices. You hate to hear it from my side of the table.
We're just gonna play a forest and a noble hierarch and say go.
Was Earl played in blue-white control decks in Modern too, or was it just played in blue-white control and Legacy?
Well, it was played in Modern.
But
yeah, like
but control decks
well,
specifically.
yeah, like Bant or Four Colors, or I think just everyone played it, and then it got banned.
Yeah, I'll shotgun a Howled Fountain, go to 18, and
Oh.
I'll cast Preordain.
Okay.
Scry 2. Then draw a card.
Oh, it's down here.
Yeah, I'm going to go top, bottom, and draw. And I'll pass the turn.
Untap. Draw a card. All right. As much as I want to attack Andy, let's play Verdant Catacombs, crack it,
All right, we figured out
Get.
the life totals. Okay.
and Overgrown Tomb.
Untapped.
Untapped.
17 for Anthony.
Then I'm going to pay 3 for Augur of Autumn and say go.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, I'll untap. I'll draw. I'll play an island, and I will pass the turn. But I'm going to do some stuff on your upkeep.
All right. I get to peek at this before I draw it. Great. Untap.
Upkeep, I'm going to dress down.
Dress down. So all my creatures will lose
pretty
all
good.
abilities.
Yep, so no mana dork, no playing cards off the top of your library.
No mana dork.
No exalted.
This is all pretty.
I've
Pretty
really
rude.
enjoyed playing with this card in the short time I have had it in my cube. I don't know, when I looked at this card, I was like, it's mostly a cantrip. Maybe sometimes you get somebody, but that is basically always relevant. The creatures have no abilities. It's like situations like this. It's just, yeah, that's a pretty disruptive little
All right. I mean, I'll draw this card.
block in
Yeah, it's
Anthony's
basically
game
like
plan.
ice, but even better here.
Now I don't get to look at that next card. That was all I wanted.
That's why I did it in your upkeep, just to rob you of that.
So upset. Well, let's play a forest. Go to combat. Attack you for 2.
Donk,
That's
donk.
3.
And
Nope, no exalted.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I forgot.
Rude.
End step, I'll sacrifice dress down.
You're up. Wow, that really interfered with my plan a lot here.
Draw.
That was a good dress down.
Play a plains. How many cards in hand, Anthony?
We got 4 cards in hand.
4 cards in hand, huh?
Would have been fewer if you hadn't been mean.
I will pass the turn. This time I'm going to stop you on draw step after you draw.
I'm loving this. This is great. I'll draw this card
I will flash into Vendilion Click, and I will target you.
in response. I'm going to look at this.
You may do this.
Hell
As
yeah.
a special action at any time.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
Why would you make a noise? I have the option to let you draw a card right now, and you made a noise. All right, so we got 5th land, or 5th mana for Nissa. It's a problem. Got to Seeker's Chariot. Also a problem. It's a really good dress down, it turns out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Skull Clamp, not a problem.
Great. You'll love to hear it.
I think I just have to take Nissa here. Yeah, you're going to bottom Nissa and draw a card. If you don't mind playing those face up, I would appreciate it, but I can also just try and remember.
All right, so I'll draw a card. And then I will peek at this.
No peeking.
No, this is a different game. Let's go ahead and play a Verdant Catacombs off the top, as I am allowed
Shuffle
to
effect
do.
with Augur of Autumn. You're comboing.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and crack that Verdant Catacombs.
Bonk.
I think I'm just going to get a basic forest. Well, I'm at 16. We're going to have a flyer. Is it worth? Let's just get that forest. It's going to be fine.
You could abrupt decay my flyer.
It's going to be fine.
I think you're getting a forest because you have multiple overgrown tombs in your deck, right?
Yeah.
So definitely going to do something with that mana this turn. So you draw another 5-drop? I guess Skull Clamp plus the Seeker's Chariot would just be 5.
Go to
that
combat.
Makes a lot of sense.
Attack you for 3.
2, 3, 4, right?
Yeah.
I'll take 3, go to 13.
And then I will indeed play a Seeker's Chariot.
Resolves.
Trigger, make some cats. Cat. And make a Skull Clamp. Pass the turn.
That is a nice cat token.
Yeah. M21. What was this? Joel Riel made these cats. Arguably, the actual Kaldheim cat tokens were even better, but
All right. 3 in the air.
I'll take 3.
13 all.
We're tied.
It's actually kind of a complicated turn here. So what are you likely to do next turn, given no other information? Definitely Crew Chariot. Probably make a second Augur of Autumn. With Chariot Crew, you do have Coven. Skull Clamp goes on something. Yeah. I'll play Otawara.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Supreme Verdict now.
I don't love that. Okay.
And I'll pass the turn.
Untap, draw. I'll play Waterlog Grove. 5. Take 1.
Yeah. Unkicked Wolf. You
The old
drew it?
Vendilion
I drew
click
it.
bug.
Shuffler bug. Shuffler bug.
I will make a forest into a guy.
I hate that a lot.
It's a 3/3 with vigilance, right?
It is.
Excellent. Let's go to combat. Attack you for 3.
I hate that so much. It's not even funny.
And then second main, I will go ahead and Skull Clamp it. Pass the turn.
Abrupt Decay and an Unknown in hand, huh?
That's correct. I miss being able to look at the top card of my library. That's so much fun.
I read the text on Nissa just because, you know,
What if I said no?
want to not be stupid.
I'm gonna read it too, just to be cool.
Reading is cool, kids.
Reading is cool. You heard it here first.
You did, in fact, hear it here first.
Yeah, that emblem is really cool.
Very useful.
Very useful.
The dice are super chunky. It's not their hands that are small.
Wait, what?
The hands and cards are all small.
Could be both. This is a normal sized die. I think, is this what most people think of a normal sized dice?
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
I'm going to fracture identity Nissa.
I wish you wouldn't.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
My Nissa now. I will uptick.
I guess I could have given you the dice.
Nope.
No, he has to get his own.
Nope, I gotta get my own. I'll uptick targeting this plains, and then I'm going to prismatic ending skull clamp.
Ooh, that's annoying.
Pass the turn. Yeah, I need to get one of those. Yeah.
Untap. Draw. I really wish you hadn't done that.
I guess a 4-power creature is a big problem. You just lose Nissa immediately.
Nissa's. Well, you don't actually take it. You exile it and then you make a copy. So it goes back to 5 and then you plus back to 6.
Yeah, just doing that instead of just taking
Yeah.
the card instead of writing a whole token out. But we know the game state is actually that Nissa is exiled, and this is a token copy.
I guess I do that. Let's pay 3. Cast Grist.
Sure.
I'll +1 Grist. Make an insect and mill one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nurturing peatland. Crew the chariot.
Mm-hmm.
Go to combat. Attack Nissa for
Mhm.
4. Trigger. I'll make another insect.
Just so we don't have to figure out what happens if you make a copy of a forest. I think you just get a forest land, or is it
Well,
still
it's
a
not a
creature?
token, so
So
it
this
doesn't
isn't
work.
a token. Yeah, I can't copy
Yeah.
the
Oh,
first.
duh. That's right.
And then let's pay green, pay in a life. Cast Birds of Paradise
Sure.
and pass the turn.
It's just abrupt decay in hand.
2 insects, chariot, grist.
I gotta tell you, Anthony, you're not making it easy on me with all these planeswalkers.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I really wish I had the skull clamp now with all these tokens, though.
Should I try to draw a insect?
I would love it. Well, the problem is we lost the marker.
Sharpie. Let me see if I can find the Sharpie real quick.
I'm not good at drawing. I did not go to art school.
Hey, I did go to art school. I'm not good at drawing. I used to be okay at drawing.
Sorry, boys. Actually, maybe the Sharpie's over here. Hold on one sec. One last place to check.
It's really good content. Tonight on Looking Around the Room for a Sharpie. We look around the room for a
I'm
Sharpie.
also thinking about my turn.
Uh-huh.
I can multitask, I
Alright,
promise.
Maybe later.
It's not easy. So, what are you going to do? You are...
Yeah, talk through it because that'll help me.
Can I
don't know what
see
I'm doing.
Grist real quick?
Yeah.
This can destroy
Quit
land
reading my
creatures.
planeswalkers.
Destroy
You
target
can.
creature or planeswalker. That's relevant text, huh?
I'm gonna read my cards too again. Planeswalker, huh?
So... if I do that... Nope, that ain't gonna work.
Wow. Sapperling. That's not quite an insect. I have a pest too, but it's got more text on it. I'll bring that in for reasons. It's gonna be good.
Andy's deep in the tank.
Yeah, we need that chess clock we were talking about in the Discord today.
Look, the matches are gonna be fast, except for
This turn.
me playing the control deck, trying to answer all these sticky threats.
Should tokens have flavor text?
Should tokens have flavor text? That is such a good question.
I kind of like the full art version of tokens. I mean, they're all full art, right?
That's
So
true.
There's not really
I
room
think
for
I
flavor
think
text.
extended art is better than flavor text, but I'm a fan of flavor text.
I could see on like a clue could have some flavor, but not on like a
Yeah.
like a wolf or something.
No, wolves, no flavor. I mean, you
Does
can.
it has? Does it have flavor text?
No,
Or
it
does that
says-
remind? No.
Oh.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Okay.
I'm gonna uptick on my island and pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap. Boop, boop,
Oh, they
boop.
have vigilance. It's just free to
Draw
smash at
a
you. Man, see,
card.
all that thinking, and I messed up.
And you should have drafted a smooth brain deck.
I
says
did
the
not.
chat.
I did not draft a smooth brain deck, unfortunately. Despite my smooth brain, because I could have just forced you to at least lose an insect token. Actually, wow,
So,
I'm so stupid. I forgot they had vigilance. God.
do I just want to boop one of your? I think I do. All right, let's crew the chariot. -2. Destroy one of your. Let's destroy the island. Sacrificing this insect.
I'm gonna respond to that.
Okay.
Cast Cryptic Command, returning this to my hand and tapping all your creatures.
Ooh, I really don't like that.
That's a good cryptic command.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking too far ahead. I skipped the attack Anthony's Planeswalker step.
It's easy to forget.
Yeah. All right, so has this been crewed yet? I don't know if
Yes.
it actually matters, but
You did crew it.
Yeah, no, they're insects. They don't have that gain 1 life text.
yeah. I could tap that for a mana.
So you do actually have to sack the insect, I believe, how Grist is worded.
Yeah, I had
You sack it and then it creates a second trigger that targets something to destroy it.
yeah, I had 2 insects.
I know. No, James is saying you don't have to sack the insect, but I think you do, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. +1, -2. You may sacrifice a creature when you do
Yeah.
destroy target creature or planeswalker.
So you did.
Yeah. Yeah. So you.
I don't know what James
the
is talking
ability
about.
resolved, and then you sacked it, and then. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
James,
yeah.
don't be tricking us with your. All right, I went back to my hand.
I may sacrifice if I do. Because
Yeah, so
I
you
have
can-
to
you
name
can-
the target.
You can downtick and choose
So
not
the
to
ability
sacrifice
resolves,
the thing.
and then you do sack it, and then if you do, creates another trigger that targets the island. I believe.
Is it a reflexive trigger, or is it just a
I'm pretty
I
sure-
target that and then I may sacrifice to do that, but
When
that's
the
still
ability
part of the
resolves?
I think when
resolving?
you do means reflexive trigger.
Is Bones in the chat? We need Bones.
Yeah. I actually could read that both
We
ways.
need
because
Judge
I don't think it
Bones.
is a. When you do, no, it is a reflexive trigger. I think you're right.
I know
think it
because
is
you
right.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't target until it resolves, which is
Yeah.
a weird thing about Grist.
Okay. Cool.
I'm pretty sure.
So
Good look
that's
at that.
happened. You've tapped down all my stuff. You now have a vigilant creature, and I can't destroy
Yeah,
it with
Donald's
abrupt
got
decay.
us.
I am going to respond. I'm going to just add a. Let's make a.
Red.
I guess I should have
Make a
correct-
red,
I
send a
should've- I
message.
should've
All right,
correct this.
Donald has confirmed that we did it right.
Thank you, Donald.
I'm going to make a blue mana. So I've got a floating blue mana. Stack is empty.
Mhm.
Great.
Is the stack
Is the
empty?
stack empty?
Stack is empty.
I'm going to go ahead and crack my Waterlog Grove
Stack is now not empty.
and draw a card.
It has been one turn since the stack was empty.
I'll play an Overgrown Tomb, shock it in, and pay for.
Days life total, Theo.
I'm going to cast Garruk,
Unbelievable! God.
and I will -2 to make a 3/3 beast.
I do all my hard work and you got your last planeswalker in your freaking hand. All right.
There we go. Say go.
All right, I'll untap. I'll draw.
I don't think a stack visualization over time would be very interesting because it's really just one ones and zeros for almost the entire game. But
Stack status. Play an island.
Enjoy your island. This is no longer a creature. BT dubs.
Oh, it sucks.
Wow.
no, it was not a joke. No, I just meant usually there's only one thing at most on the stack. Like it's pretty rare you actually have like a stack respond to things on the stack, but it would be two sometimes. Two things.
Could be 3.
It
4.
could be 3. Yeah, 4.
17.
Yeah, well.
So punished for not attacking Grist last turn.
Andy's going through some pain right now. This is true.
I'm really glad I made a mana with Birds of Paradise. That was cool. Did I cheat there? So
I don't know. Did you?
I don't know. No, because he did it in
Well, he
response
did
to
it
crewing.
during-
So yeah.
All right, I have
still
a
in your main phase.
I got a
Yeah,
rules
yeah.
question.
Yeah. Great. Didn't cheat.
Oh, boy.
Excellent.
Let's say I want to float some mana.
All right,
Oh no, never mind.
let's talk
I
about
figured.
floating
I rubber ducked it myself and
Okay, great,
figured out what I gotta
great.
do. Add blue. Uptick. Untap. I'll play the Wandering Emperor.
Ooh.
Go to
That's
combat.
spooky.
I will attack 1 at Grist and 1 at Garrick.
You're just trying to intimidate him by playing it before blocks.
I want my lands to be untapped to block.
Oh,
I have no
see,
other
I see.
mana.
Interesting.
I would love to flash it in and surprise him,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think it's better to actually have blockers next turn instead of not.
Huh. So, but it won't counter Kane's first strike. So I can either just lose both my planeswalkers, or I can chump block to save one of my planeswalkers. So the question is, what do I like more, a beast or Grist? I think it's Grist. I don't know how I win from this position, though. Because now you have 2 planeswalkers and I'll have only 1. This is unfair. It's the opposite of what we were supposed to do.
It should have 0 if I'm not a freaking idiot.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this is a very close game.
yeah. All right, I will block the one that... Which one is attacking
But is it
Grist? I guess
grindy,
it doesn't
though?
really matter.
That one's
That's
attacking
the
Let's
real
Grist.
block
question.
the one...
All right. We'll do the thing.
do the thing.
Put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Yep, my beast will
Do
die.
the first strike. Garrick will die.
Sometimes it feels like chump blocking is bad, but I'm really just choosing between the planeswalker and the
I'll
beast.
pass the turn.
All right, untap. Let's draw a great card right here.
You kind of need to, but you've been doing it every turn. I have made your Abrupt Decay looked absolutely foolish.
No disagreement there. And now you just have a 4/4, so I don't really have good attacks. It's really unfortunate. I mean, I could
Unfortunate.
Kill the 4/4 and then threaten your planeswalkers with a 4/4 and make another 1/1. Or I could just kill the Wandering Emperor. These are my choices. Let's read the Wandering Emperor again. Just do some reading. We're going to take our time.
I mean, it's good to read the cards.
It's good to read the cards. I hear it explains the cards.
Maybe playing on Stream a Bunch will make us both better Magic
Just
players,
make
Anthony,
it
because we will
2/2
read the
every
cards
turn.
and think a little harder, for fear of being shamed on our stream by not attacking with our vigilant tokens because we forget they're vigilant, and we're already
So-
planning on getting rid of. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
If I want to just use Grist to kill the Wandering Emperor directly, do I still want to attack with my 4/4 and trade with Andy's 4/4? A little bit. It's tempting. Let's do that. That sounds like fun. The problem is I have to sacrifice birds because I want to keep an insect. I'll crew this. I'm going to minus sacrificing birds to destroy the Wandering Emperor. And go to combat. Attack Nissa for 4. Trigger. I will make another insect.
Yeah, I'll trade.
Okay. And pass the turn. Reading the card usually explains the card. Yeah, I mean, personally, I love playing some
Check this
cards.
out. I'll play a tapped breeding pool.
But
Oh, untap it.
what?
Broken gain 2 life combo.
Oh man.
I will
Hmm.
go to combat and attack you for 6.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just taking 6 here. Yeah, maybe I did a bad thing last turn.
I'm gonna oust your forest
Ooh,
to the
that's
second from the top
rough.
of your library.
Okay.
You gain 3.
The face-down cards are 1/1 insects.
1/1
from
insects.
Chris.
Sorry for the lack of board clarity. Tokens. We can't find our Sharpie. Pass the turn.
Draw. Ooh. Force go.
We'd love to see that.
I believe I've lost the game.
All right. Another one.
Yeah.
Attack for 9.
Drawing a force next turn, so no blocks.
Great.
Great. Well played.
I can't wait to watch that one back and
Wow.
figure out what else I did wrong other than not attacking
Yeah, that was
with
a
my vigilant
complicated board
creatures.
state.
Yeah.
Just having like the Wandering Emperor, Grist, Fracture Identity, not Grist, Wandering Emperor, and Cryptic Command and Fracture Identity all in my hand, and all the different things that could have happened. There's your Nissa.
Oh, thank you. That's important.
Whew.
Yeah, stealing this is pretty good.
Like, I didn't want to Wrath that turn. I wanted to hold up the Wandering Emperor and then Wrath the next turn, but doing that almost certainly would have given you 2 cards off of Skull Clamp, which seemed bad.
Yeah.
Felt like Supreme Verdicting while you had no creatures. Skull Clamp was good, but that turn I could have held up Wandering Emperor and Cryptic Command, which means I could have countered your first Planeswalker, which would have been good. I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say. One type of one type of video I've been thinking of maybe having us make is all these like pros and streamers will let you like pay them to do coaching sessions, and they usually watch like MTGO replays. We can have them watch these game replays though, and record it for
Yeah.
the
You'd
channel.
have to like have your hand, I feel, in the recording somehow.
Yeah, or like take notes of like what was in our hand
Yeah.
the whole time. All right, I'm gonna think about my sideboard here for a second. Don't look at this side of the table. My sideboard is very sneaky and important. You can go to my top-down view if you want, Theo, while I figure this out. Might be interesting.
Sure. I'm kind of surprised that top left one's in your sideboard.
You would main deck it?
Reset
Yeah, I
life
think it's pretty
totals
good.
also.
That is... My mana is not as good as I'd like to be to main deck that card, is where I will leave that.
That's fair. All right, see you later. Is True Medium, is that DSB? Do I remember
Yes,
that correctly?
that is
All right,
DSB.
See you later, DSB.
You have remembered correctly. Yeah, I kind of wanted to bring this in for fun, but I'm not going to. I think I'm going to swap these out for these. The
No
arguments...
fun allowed. No fun allowed.
I know, the fun card is fun, but probably not actually good here. The only reason this might be good would be if he cited out the answers to this, given what happened in Game 1, which is
Right.
the reason to maybe bring it in. But maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not saying. I'm just going to shuffle my whole sideboard into my deck. Anthony's got to figure it out.
Great. We're looking at me. I'm taking out these just because this card I didn't see any targets for, and this card I've just got a lot of density for, so it's the easiest place to make cuts.
Assuming you're talking about Abrupt Decay, you could have Abrupt Decay dressed down.
I thought about it. But that's not what I'm talking about. Or is it?
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I know Andy's win condition, and I'm just going to aggressively
But it
sideboard
can't be
against
countered. It can't be countered, though. Abrupt Decay.
Why is that? I don't...
I also don't get why that is.
Making a dumb joke.
Okay,
All right. You're on the play, presumably.
I will be on the play. That was rough. I felt good for a minute there, and then...
I felt pretty bad for a lot of that. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie. But I think that is how my deck plays. I think I'm supposed to feel bad for most of it.
Interesting. Well, really tells you a lot about.
Was it that game? I felt like I had to keep tapping out of holding up counter magic to do other stuff repeatedly. I was like, I feel like I had to tap out for the Wrath. I had to tap out for Fractured Identity. And then I just felt like I had to keep tapping out when I could have held up counter spells for both those Planeswalkers. All right. Good luck, Anthony.
Good luck to you.
I just noticed people's names colors are different
I think
here
it's...
and there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who knows anything about anything? Not me,
That's
certainly.
weird.
If it were me picking random colors, I'd use a seeded random based on the username, so it was randomized but consistent. But that's
I thought
just
I
me.
picked my color, but maybe everyone else sees a different one.
I guess you answer first, Anthony, what you're going to do with your hand.
Okay. Oof. This is dicey. I'm tempted to keep this, but I can just lose way too easily with this, so I'm going to throw it back.
I'm also going to mulligan. As tempting as it is to keep Island as my only land, Serum Visions, and Balance, I don't think that's a good strategy. So, back it goes. Balance also not as good in this matchup as it normally is, I think, because of all your Planeswalkers, but just got to maneuver correctly.
Okay, this hand I will keep. But I don't know what I'm throwing back. One of these two. Let's get rid of this. Well, I don't know if that's right. Here we are. We're doing our best.
I'm going to keep mine as well, chat. I guess I'm just going to get rid of this. I can honestly see an argument for not, but I am.
Poor
Pour that card.
Pour that card. I'd love
All right,
to know
Anthony.
this. All
Whenever
right.
you're ready.
Forrest, go.
Planes go.
Draw. Boseju. Scoos. Go.
Ooh. A scoos.
Thanks, Donald.
I'm just going to go ahead and plow that right now.
Whoa!
You gain 2. Go to 22.
Thank you.
I will untap, draw.
I'm at 22.
Island, say go.
Untap. Draw. Well,
I don't want to
you've
play
got
against
island
Scamajagoos.
plains. Well, I don't think I can afford to do nothing this turn. Ancient Tomb.
Woo!
Tap it.
Back to 20.
Chariot.
Man,
Yeah, I thought that might happen. Well, I think that might be game. Pass turn.
Untap. Draw. Shock and a breeding pool. Go to 18. Say go.
Untap. Draw. Verdant Catacombs. Crack it.
19.
Get an untapped Overgrown Tomb.
17. I'll put it over here because I can reach it better.
All right, is he going to have a third answer? Probably. Grist?
I'll play a replicated lose focus. Counter unless you pay 4. Well, counter unless you pay 2 twice.
I will not do that. Pass turn.
Shotgun another breeding pool. Go to 16 and pass.
Draw. I also made a mistake there. I'll play a Nurturing Peatland. Let's go ahead and crack that main phase. Draw. Green Suns for 3, taken 2.
Green Suns for 3, taken 2. 2 cards in hand?
2 cards in hand.
You get Augur of Autumn almost certainly. Because the Grist is already in the yard. You can maybe get Tireless Tracker if you wanted to. I'm just going to counter draw.
Okay. Pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. Tap the island for a Serum Visions. Draw a card. And scry 2. I'll bottom both of those. I'll play a Cave of the Frost Dragon tapped and pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. Pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. Try to decide if I play this out or not. I honestly don't know.
Is he going to do it?
Yeah, I'll just play Odawara.
Okay.
I'll pass the turn.
I'll draw a card. I will pay 3. Cast Tireless Tracker.
I will respond and cast Dress Down.
Okay. Pass
Draw
the
a
turn.
card. Hold on. I get to draw a card.
Okay. Okay.
All right, then, yeah, sure. I'll take the turn. Untap.
Which
Draw.
AFR manlands are in the Key of Indy?
White, black, and red. No Hall of Storm Giants and no Hydra 1. Three cards in hand?
3 cards.
Pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. Go to combat.
Yeah.
Attack you for 3.
Do you want to resolve something that bad? Holding Dismember? You probably side out Dismember against me, I would imagine. Don't really want to get my cave dismembered. No blocks.
Take 3.
13.
Second main. I'll pay 4. Taken 2.
13 for you as well.
I'll cast Garrick.
I'm going to cast Mystic Confluence. And modes are counter unless you pay 3. I'm just going to draw 2.
And I'll pass the turn.
I'll crack this fetch line before I do so. Getting a tapped Hallowed Fountain. Maybe that's a mistake, actually. Yeah, that's kind of bad. Oh, well. Wow. That was probably a mistake. No. I draw 2.
I at least get the
and then
victory
I'll untap, draw
of
for turn.
making Andy second guess himself.
I'll oust the tireless tracker.
Second from the top,
Second from the top.
and I gain 3.
You gain 3, back
Thank
up
you.
to 16, and I'll pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. Love to just lose life having all my spells countered. It's really fun. I'll take 2 life.
Hey, I'm giving you life back, too.
Wolfbriar Elemental kicked 1 time.
In response, I'm going to flash in Snapcaster Mage.
Okay.
And then cast Cryptic Command, counter, draw.
Pass turn.
And then I'll untap. Draw. Play an island.
Oh, I forgot to shuffle Green Suns in.
It got countered, didn't it?
Oh, it did. It got countered.
Yeah.
This only happens in resolution.
Yeah.
Perfect. We did it right.
Attack for
Great.
2.
I'll take 2.
Got you at 12.
Great.
I'll play a Timeless Dragon.
Yikes.
And pass the turn.
Untap.
Ooh, actually, hold on. Let me tap. a little
Draw
different. Hold on,
tireless
hold on,
tracker.
hold on. Tap better. Tap better. All right, there you go. I've done it.
What are you laughing at over there, Theo?
Me
No, just
not
Andy
being able to tap
making
my
you wait
mana.
so he can retap his mana.
Yeah. Tireless tracker.
You have a Tireless Tracker.
Wow. Incredible. Say
Amazing.
go.
Untap. Draw. Island. Combat. Attack for 7.
No blocks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got you at 5. I will pass the turn and stop you on upkeep. I'll put Tireless Tracker on top of your library. Can I offer you a Tireless Tracker in this trying time?
Say. You have how many cards in hand?
2.
And Frost Dragon is a 3/4.
3/4.
I mean, I don't see a way out of this, but let's go ahead and you can also just eternalize that. Do this main phase because it actually doesn't matter because you can still do it if I do it before combat no matter what. Dismember your dragon, paying 2 life.
So only have to tap.
Are you paying
2
2?
mana?
Are you paying 2 life?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I only.
Oh, you only have 1
Because I
life.
only have
So
1
you're
life.
at
Yeah,
3.
okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And then just die.
Yeah, I just animate cave
Yeah.
and
I'll
attack.
deal 2 more to myself.
Just to send a message.
Sending a message.
Cool.
Oh, that felt bad. I also made a huge mistake.
Was it fetching the black source?
Nope.
No.
I made a mistake fetching
Yeah,
the
I should've
Hallowed
fetched.
Fountain. I should have gotten Temple Garden so I could cast and escape Uro in the same turn I had drawn it.
Damn. You could have won even harder.
Yeah, you really.
Well, I
could've
died
done
with
that.
Fractured Identity in hand.
Oh.
Wow. Yes, it was. I fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was.
I was just
you
thinking.
said-
I was just thinking like
That was very rude of me
Did
to
you have
counter
the
all your
P-land in your
spells
hand?
for sure. That's what the
Or
deck
did
is
you
meant
just-
to do.
Did you draw that later?
I drew it later. So that's what I was just
Okay,
like.
well then it's kind of a judgment call, right?
No, it was a mistake. What I should have gotten is Watery Grave.
Oh, that yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one. yeah.
What were you gonna get off the Green Sun Zenith out of curiosity?
Whatchamacallit.
Leopold?
Oh, I could have gotten Leovold too, but no, I would have just.
Oh, yeah,
gotten,
Leovold. That was probably even better. Definitely better.
My plan was just to get the Augur of Autumn because I was kind of
Oh
stuck
yeah,
on
you
lands
did
as
need
well.
lands. Yeah.
So that was my plan.
Anyway, I'm
that
glad I
felt
have
bad.
this video now to send to people when they're like, "Oh, Alison unexpectedly absent aren't that good."
No, don't send them a video of me
I was thinking
fetching the wrong
forest
land
is,
and then.
is brutal.
Yeah, I mean, so often getting to put the thing in their library is a plus over getting to remove it completely because you just make their next draw or their
Yeah.
draw in 2 turns worse. You can hit stop recording.
Sure.
Keep streaming though.